The McBee Dynasty, Real American Cowboys returns for a second season, but they're missing a huge character from season 1, Steve McBee Sr. Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching for more details. Steve McBee Sr. played a prominent part on the McBee Dynasty, Real American Cowboys during its first season, but he'll be MIA from the second season when it premieres on Bravo this month. The McBee Dynasty, Real American Cowboys Season 1 saw the McBee family as they ran a farm in rural Missouri. Steve Sr. and his 4 sons, Stephen McBee Jr., Jesse McBee, Cole McBee, and Braden McBee, navigated keeping their family business afloat while trying to maintain control over their personal lives, sparking drama and tension. On the McBee Dynasty, Real American Cowboys Season 2, Steve Sr. won't be appearing, and the reason could spell even more trouble for the McBee boys. Steve McBee Sr. is the patriarch of the McBee family. Steve played a prominent role in the first season of his family's reality show. As the head of the family and the business, Steve ruled with an iron fist, pushing his sons to work harder for the greater good of the business. Steve was never easy on his boys, and he was a huge role model to them. Much of the conflict during Season 1 centered on who Steve would choose to take over the farm when he eventually retired. His sons battled to prove they were the most competent to take on the task, with Stephen Jr. being the obvious next choice. Steve Sr. wasn't always about business, however, and his personal life left much to be desired. His romantic entanglements put the family business at risk when he got into a messy open relationship with Galina Saltkovska, the company's CFO, and flaunted his other dates in her face. Steve was often reckless in the way he dealt with the women in his life, and his penchant for partying also showed a different side of him, one that his sons didn't always respect. Still, as their father, Steve Sr. was put on a pedestal by his sons, who still wanted his approval. Steve McBee Sr. pled guilty to insurance fraud. During the McBee Dynasty, Real American Cowboys Season 1, Steve Sr. often complained about government interference with his business, McBee Farm and Cattle Company. A long-running joke was that the McBee properties were often chosen for random audits and inspections because the McBee family always felt like the government was out to get them. Turns out they were right. In November, Steve Sr. pled guilty in federal court to submitting false documents in order to receive crop insurance benefits, which cost the U.S. government $4 million. At Season 1 concluded, Steve was ready to leave the farm, as the business failed to get a huge amount of funding they'd been relying on, and Steve couldn't handle the disappointment. The last scene on the McBee Dynasty Season 1 showed Steve Sr. driving away from the farm and telling Stephen Jr. he needed to take some space from it. Steve is currently awaiting sentencing. He won't appear on the reality show's second season. This leaves his eldest son, Stephen Jr., to pick up the pieces. Steve McBee faces 30 years in prison. According to Progressive Farmer, Steve's sentencing was pushed back from June 26 to September 9. While he awaits his fate, he's keeping a lower profile and won't be appearing on Season 2 of his family's reality show. In the meantime, his ex-wife, Christy McBee, will step in to act as a guiding force for their sons. Christy only appeared on the McBee Dynasty, Real American Cowboys Season 1 by way of a phone call. Therefore, only her voice was heard. This season, with her ex-husband's legal issues keeping him off the show, expect Christy to play a much bigger role.